Welcome to the Argentinian Philosopher, ideas made simple for everyday life. What if everything you believed about reality were just shadows on a wall? More than 2000 years ago, Plato told a story that still challenges how we see the world today, the allegory of the cave. In this video, I will share with you 3 quick lessons about this timeless parable and explain why it might be more relevant now than ever before. Imagine this. A group of people has been imprisoned in a dark cave since birth. They are chained in place, unable to turn their heads, forced to stare at the wall in front of them. Behind them burns a fire, and between the fire and the prisoners, other people pass by, carrying objects that cast shadows on a wall. For the prisoners, these shadows are their only reality. They know nothing else. To them, the shadows are the world. Now, imagine that one prisoner is freed. At first, he is blinded by the firelight. Then, reluctantly, he turns and leaves the cave. Outside, he is overwhelmed by the bright sun and the unfamiliar world. Gradually, he begins to see things as they really are: the sun, the landscape, other people. He realizes that the shadows on the cave wall were mere illusions, a limited version of reality. Truth, he now sees, lies beyond the cave. But the story doesn't end there. Moved by what he discovered, the freed prisoner returns to the cave to tell the others, but they don't believe him. They cling to their shadows. They even resist the idea that a larger reality exists beyond the cave. And this is where Plato's allegory truly begins to speak to us, because we all live, in a certain way, in caves of our own making. The first lesson from Plato's cave is simple but profound. Our experience of reality is limited. Like prisoners in the cave, we often mistake appearances for truth. What we see, hear, and experience is filtered through layers of assumptions, biases, and social conditioning. In Plato's story, the shadows on the wall were not reality. They were merely projections. Yet, for the prisoners, they were the only world they knew. The same is true for us. Much of what we take for granted might be only a partial reflection of a deeper truth. Consider the modern world. We live surrounded by media, social networks, and curated streams of information. Algorithms feed us what we already believe, reinforcing existing views. Echo chambers form, and we come to mistake this narrow stream of data for the whole picture. Just as the prisoners couldn't imagine a world beyond the shadows, we too can become trapped in distorted versions of reality without even knowing it. The allegory challenges us to ask, what assumptions am I taking for granted? What might I not be seeing? Plato's message is both timeless and urgent. To seek the truth, we must first recognize the limits of our own perception. We must be willing to question appearances, to turn our heads, and to step beyond the shadows on the wall. Only then can we begin the journey towards a deeper understanding of reality. The second lesson of Plato's cave is that the pursuit of truth demands effort and often discomfort. In the story, the freed prisoner doesn't immediately embrace the world outside the cave. At first, he's blinded by the fire. Then, when exposed to the sun, he's overwhelmed. His instincts resist the unfamiliar light, and the process of adjusting to reality is painful. This reminds us that growth, learning, and true understanding are not easy. They require to move beyond the familiar, to confront uncertainty, and to challenge beliefs we once held as self-evident. In today's world, where instant gratification is the norm, this message is more relevant than ever. We are often drawn to easy answers and comfortable narratives. Algorithms serve as content that confirms what we already believe. But genuine learning, whether in philosophy, science, or personal development, requires questioning, critical thinking, and resilience. It means confronting uncomfortable truths, recognizing when we've been wrong, and staying curious even when answers are complex or unsettling. Because the path to deeper knowledge is rarely smooth. Plato's Allegory urges us not to settle for shadows on the wall, or for the easy explanations served to us by others. It calls us to step into the light, to embrace the hard work of thinking for ourselves. Truth is not handed to us, it's something we must seek with courage and persistence. The third lesson of Plato's Cave is about responsibility, what we do with knowledge once we've gained it. In the allegory, the freed prisoner doesn't simply enjoy the sunlight and leave his companions behind. Instead, he returns to the cave and shares what he's discovered. But when he does, others mock him. They cannot understand what he's seen. In fact, they view him as foolish or even dangerous. This reflects a deeper truth. When we step beyond conventional thinking, when we question the status quo, we often face resistance. Plato suggests that with greater understanding comes a moral obligation, not to hoard wisdom to us, but to help others see more clearly. Yet this is no easy task. The freed prisoner must endure misunderstanding, rejection, and even hostility. As Socrates says to Glauco, the eyes can be blinded from passing from darkness to light or from light to darkness. In other words, both those newly enlightened and those still in ignorance can struggle to bridge the gap between them. Often, the wise appear foolish to those unwilling to question their own shadows. So, what does this mean for us today? If we value truth, we must also cultivate patience and empathy. Not everyone is ready to leave their cave, but by living thoughtfully, asking good questions, and sharing what we learn with humility, we can help light the way, one conversation at a time. Plato's Allegory of the Cave offers us timeless insights into the human condition. It reminds us that what we see and experience is often just a fraction of reality, shadows on the wall. It challenges us to seek the truth even when the journey is difficult or uncomfortable, and it calls us to use our understanding not just for personal gain, but to help illuminate the path for others. In our modern world, these lessons are more relevant than ever. Surrounded by information bubbles, media manipulation, and fast-moving trends, it's easy to mistake appearances for reality. But if we are willing to question, to reflect, and to step beyond our comfort zones, we can begin to see clearly. The pursuit of truth is not a solitary path. It's a lifelong process of growth, learning, and shared discovery. So what about you? Which of these three lessons from Plato's Cave resonated the most with you? Are there shadows you began to question in your own life? I'd like to hear your thoughts. Please share them in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more quick lessons and deep dives into philosophy. Until next time, keep questioning and keep seeking the light. Remember, the fight for the truth is a life or death battle.